Look, fellas, there's a habit a lot of men over 40 are still doing almost every day, sometimes out of stress, sometimes out of boredom, sometimes because they've been told it's healthy. And here's what nobody warned you about. For some men, it quietly trains the prostate to stay irritated, inflamed, and overworked, while the warning signs get blamed on aging, weak urine flow, that constant pressure feeling, waking up at night to pee, a drop in sexual confidence that feels impossible to explain. Most guys don't connect the dots, and by the time they do, they're already worried something is seriously wrong. I'm Dr. Rosalia Viterbo, and I'm a men's health specialist who works specifically with guys over 40 who want their energy, confidence, and sexual performance back, without guesswork and without shame. For years, I've helped men fix low testosterone, stubborn fatigue, prostate issues, and bedroom problems that seem to come out of nowhere. And here's what I've learned. Most men are never told how aging actually changes their hormones, their nervous system, and their sexual response. They're told, everything's normal, even when they know something feels off. I don't do vague answers. I break things down so you understand what's happening inside your body and what you can actually do about it. This isn't about judgment. It's about giving you real information so you can make smarter choices for your health. Here's what I'm going to walk you through today. First, I'm going to explain what daily masturbation actually does to the prostate as men age and why the effect is very different after 40. Then we'll talk about how it quietly impacts testosterone, dopamine, and your overall drive, even if your labs look normal. I'll break down the 5 biggest prostate and performance issues I see linked to this habit, and what most men get completely wrong about it. I'll also share a real patient story that's going to sound uncomfortably familiar to a lot of you. And stay with me until the end, because I'll clear up a couple of major myths that even many doctors repeat, and I'll tell you what actually supports prostate health and sexual function long-term, without killing your libido. Before we get into the specifics, you've got to understand why this topic even matters, especially if you're over 40. Most men think the prostate is something you only worry about when you're old, or when a doctor brings it up during an awkward exam. But the prostate is not some passive organ just sitting there doing nothing. It's hormonally active, it's sensitive to inflammation, and it's directly influenced by your sexual habits, your stress levels, and your nervous system. Think of your prostate like a traffic circle for male health. Blood flow, hormones, nerve signals, and ejaculation all pass through this area. When you're younger, your body is resilient. Testosterone is higher, recovery is faster, inflammation is lower, and your nervous system can handle more stimulation without consequences. That's why in your 20s and early 30s, daily masturbation usually doesn't cause noticeable problems. But after 40, the terrain changes. Testosterone gradually declines. Estrogen activity often increases relative to testosterone. Inflammation becomes easier to trigger and harder to shut down. The prostate itself can become more sensitive, more congested, and more reactive. And here's the part most men don't realize. Your nervous system doesn't reset the same way it used to. A lot of guys come to me confused. They'll say, "Doc, I'm healthy. I work out. I'm not overweight. Why am I tired? Why is my libido weird? Why do I feel pressure down there or have urinary issues?" And when we zoom out and look at the whole picture, hormones, stress, sleep, stimulation patterns, that daily habit they've never questioned starts to matter. Another big problem is misinformation. Men are told that frequent ejaculation is always good for the prostate. End of story. No nuance, no age context, no discussion about nervous system fatigue, dopamine burnout, or pelvic congestion. So men keep doing the same thing, assuming more is better, while their bodies are quietly signaling that something's off. This problem sneaks up because it's gradual. You don't wake up one day broken. You just notice less drive, weaker erections, more irritability, poorer sleep, maybe more trips to the bathroom at night. And most men never connect those dots. That's why this conversation is so important, because once you understand the context, the rest of what I'm about to explain will make a lot more sense. First, prostate congestion and pressure buildup. Here's something most men have never heard of. Ejaculation does empty prostatic fluid. Yes, but constant stimulation without adequate recovery can actually create congestion in the prostate and pelvic floor, especially after 40. Think of it like this. Your prostate is part of a fluid production and drainage system. When you're younger, that system is flexible. After 40, circulation slows, tissues are more sensitive, and inflammation sticks around longer. Daily masturbation, especially when it's rushed, tense, or paired with a lot of screen stimulation, can keep that area in a constant state of activation without full recovery. What men notice: a dull ache, pressure between the legs, discomfort after ejaculation, weaker streams, or feeling like they never fully empty. Most guys think, I should ejaculate more to clear it out. That's the mistake. What actually works is balancing stimulation with recovery, improving blood flow, reducing inflammation, and calming the pelvic floor, not hammering the system every single day. Second, nervous system overload and prostate irritation. This part is huge, and almost nobody talks about it. Masturbation isn't just a physical act, it's a nervous system event. Dopamine spikes, nerves fire, muscles contract, blood vessels constrict and release. When this happens occasionally, no problem. When it happens daily, especially with high-stimulus porn, the nervous system stays in a semi-revved state. Over time, that can irritate the nerves that serve the prostate and bladder. Men over 40 are more sensitive to this because nerve recovery slows with age. That's when you see urinary urgency, nighttime bathroom trips, or that on-edge feeling down there. Most men think prostate problems are purely mechanical. In reality, they're often neurological and inflammatory. The fix isn't more stimulation, it's calming the system down. Third, testosterone signaling gets disrupted. Let's be very clear here. Masturbation doesn't magically kill testosterone, but daily overstimulation does affect how testosterone signals in the body. After 40, your testosterone production is already trending down. When dopamine is constantly spiked and crashed, the brain becomes less responsive to sexual signals. Libido drops, motivation drops, drive fades. Guys tell me, my testosterone labs are normal, but I feel flat. That's because hormones don't work in isolation. They work in rhythm. What most men think is helping them relax is actually draining their drive. Strategic restraint, better sleep, and reducing artificial stimulation often bring libido back stronger than any supplement ever could. Fourth, pelvic floor tension weakens erections. This one surprises a lot of men. Repeated masturbation, especially fast, clenched, goal-oriented masturbation, trains the pelvic floor to stay tight. A tight pelvic floor restricts blood flow. Restricted blood flow equals weaker erections, delayed ejaculation issues, or erections that don't last. Men think erection problems mean low testosterone or poor circulation. Sometimes it's neither. It's muscular tension. Daily masturbation without awareness keeps reinforcing that tension pattern. What actually helps is pelvic relaxation, breath work, reducing frequency, and letting the system reset. Fifth, inflammation becomes the silent enemy. After 40, inflammation is the background noise behind many health issues, prostate included. Frequent ejaculation increases local blood flow and immune activity. Again, occasionally that's fine. Constantly, it can tip the scale toward chronic inflammation. This is when you see PSA creeping up, prostatitis-like symptoms, or unexplained discomfort with normal tests. Most men chase supplements or antibiotics, but if the underlying inflammatory trigger stays in place, nothing fully resolves. Reducing frequency, improving diet, managing stress, and supporting recovery does more for the prostate than endless interventions. Sixth, libido confusion and confidence loss. This is the part men don't like to admit. Daily masturbation can quietly disconnect desire from real intimacy. Over time, arousal becomes screen-based, novelty-driven, and less responsive to real connection. Men over 40 start questioning themselves. Why don't I feel as confident? Why am I less interested? Why does sex feel different? It's not weakness. It's conditioning. When stimulation is dialed back and the nervous system resets, desire often returns naturally and confidence follows. That's what men actually want. Let me tell you about a patient who's basically a combination of men I see every week. We'll call him Mark. Mark was 52 years old, married, still working full-time, not overweight, went to the gym a couple times a week. On paper, he looked fine, but when he came in, he was frustrated. Low energy, brain fog, erections weren't as reliable. He was waking up once or twice a night to pee, and he had this constant sense of pressure. Nothing sharp, nothing dramatic, just enough to be annoying and concerning. His labs were normal. Testosterone wasn't technically low. PSA wasn't alarming. His primary doctor told him everything looked fine and suggested stress reduction. When I dug deeper, his lifestyle told a different story. High-stress job, poor sleep, and daily masturbation, sometimes more than once, usually late at night, usually with porn. He thought it was helping him relax and sleep. What I explained to him was simple. His nervous system was exhausted, his pelvic floor was tight, and his prostate was never fully recovering. We didn't ban anything. We adjusted frequency, improved sleep timing, removed late-night stimulation, added pelvic relaxation work, cleaned up inflammation triggers in his diet, and supported testosterone signaling naturally. Within 6 weeks, he was sleeping through the night. The pressure was gone, erections were more consistent, libido felt more alive, not forced. His words, not mine, were, "I feel like my body finally exhaled." Myth number 1. The more you ejaculate, the healthier your prostate is. This idea came from population studies that looked at averages, not individuals. It also ignored age, inflammation, nervous system health, and recovery capacity. For a 25-year-old with low stress and high testosterone, frequent ejaculation might not be an issue. For a 45 or 55-year-old with chronic stress and hormonal shifts, constant ejaculation can actually irritate the prostate instead of protecting it. Health is about balance, not extremes. Myth number 2. If I stop or reduce masturbation, my testosterone will crash or I'll get backed up. That's simply not how male physiology works. Testosterone is produced in pulses and influenced by sleep, stress, nutrition, and brain signaling, not by daily ejaculation. In fact, many men see improved libido and stronger erections when they reduce overstimulation and allow the system to reset. Your body knows how to regulate itself when you stop overriding it. Myth number 3. If my labs are normal, my symptoms can't be real. This one does real harm. Labs are snapshots. They don't show nervous system fatigue, pelvic floor tension, dopamine burnout, or low-grade inflammation. I've seen countless men dismissed because their numbers were in range, even though their quality of life was clearly declining. Symptoms are data. Ignoring them doesn't make them disappear. Here's the truth most men never hear. Prostate health, sexual function, and energy depend on rhythm, recovery, and regulation. When you understand that and stop blindly following internet advice, you give your body a chance to function the way it's meant to again. Daily masturbation after 40 can contribute to prostate congestion and pressure when recovery is poor. It can overstimulate the nervous system and irritate the nerves that control urination and sexual function. It can disrupt how testosterone signals in your body, even if your labs look normal. It can tighten the pelvic floor, limiting blood flow and weakening erections. It can fuel low-grade inflammation that quietly drives prostate symptoms. And over time, it can confuse libido and chip away at confidence. The big takeaway is this: your body isn't broken. It's responding to constant stimulation in a system that now needs more balance and recovery than it did years ago. Once you understand that, you can make smarter adjustments that actually support your prostate, your hormones, and your performance, instead of working against them. If this hit home for you, do me a favor, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, because I put out real practical content like this every week for men over 40 who want their health back. And I want to hear from you in the comments. Have you noticed changes in your energy, libido, or prostate health over the years that nobody ever explained to you? Drop a comment, and let me know. Also, I've put a free men's health guide in the description below that walks you through the key habits that support testosterone, prostate health, and sexual performance naturally. No hype, no nonsense. Grab that while it's available, and if you want deeper, step-by-step guidance, check the links below so you can start taking control of your health instead of guessing. You're not alone, and you're not broken. Your body is just responding to the habits and stress it's experienced over the years. With the right approach, you can reset your prostate, boost your energy, and reclaim your confidence. I'm Dr. Rosalia Viterbo. Stay strong, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.